Welcome all. Finally, Scorpio. So, if you're born between October 24th through November 22nd, then you are a Scorpio. How do we recognize our Scorpio? People, they often draw back visibly when someone says he or she was born in November, murmuring, "Oh, you're a Scorpio," either in frank fear or in awe and respect. Sometimes there's also a giggle that obviously refers to the legendary Scorpio passion. Scorpios are fed up with these reactions to their sun sign, and who can blame them? But they are ruthless and dangerous, right? Wrong. It depends. First, you better learn how to recognize the sign. In self defense, perhaps, because here we are seeking a really superior human being. Scorpio likes to travel incognito, and how to recognize him? How about starting from the eyes? Look at the eyes. They can be green, blue, brown, or black, but they'll be piercing with hypnotic intensity. Scorpio eyes bore deeply into you, mercilessly, as if they are penetrating your very soul. They are. Scorpio has total ego. Their tone can be velvety, soft, husky, or sharply cutting. He knows what he is, and he knows what he is not. And nothing anyone else thinks will change this knowledge. Insults roll right off his back, and compliments don't move him a fraction of an inch. He needs no one to tell him his vices or his virtues. At best, he'll calmly agree with your appraisal. At worst, he'll suspect your motives. Scorpio never forgets a gift or a kindness and is richly rewarded. And they are intensely loyal to friends. The Scorpio soldier leaps instantly, instinctively to brave the bullets and drag his buddy to safety. With regard to Scorpio's health, it is typical of his nature. He can destroy his body with excesses, melancholy, or hard work, but he can also build it back with at will from a critical illness. Pluto's power is that strong. Scorpios are seldom sick, but when they are, it usually serious. A long rest and a change of attitude with peaceful acceptance replacing burning resentment are the best cures. They can't let well enough alone, and of course, they know more than the doctor and all the nurses. And usually, the chief areas of attack for germs and accidents are the reproductive organs, the nose, the throat, the heart, spine, back, circulatory system, legs, and ankles. Varicose veins and accidents in sports are also very common in a Scorpio. Scorpio is deeply interested in religion, intensely curious about all phases of life and death, passionately concerned with sex, and violently drawn by a desire to reform. He can be a saint or a sinner. One of the strangest patterns in astrology is the death of a relative in the family within either a year before or the year after the birth of a Scorpio. And when a Scorpio dies, there will be a birth in the family within the year before or the year after. It happens at least 95% of the time. Pluto's symbol is the triumphant phoenix rising from his own smoldering ashes, and Scorpius personifies the resurrection from the grave. November's thistle is dangerous, yet it grows entwined with the heavy, languid beauty of the Scorpio's honeysuckle. So, if you're in love with a Scorpio male and the word passion frightens you, put on your track shoes and run as if King Kong were pursuing you. He is. A Scorpio man is not exactly what your psyche needs if you are repelled by emotional excess. Don't look back, just run. You'll think I've taken leave of my senses if you've just met that particular Pluto person. He's so calm and steady. How could anyone with such obvious self control be passionate, let alone dangerously too? Mm-hmm. He's sizzling underneath his deceptively controlled manner. Don't touch. You know perfectly well how long it takes for burns to heal. Remember? But if your sun sign gives you an asbestos fireproof nature, go ahead and play with explosives. You may be able to keep the flatness or the flames under control and have yourself a powerful fire to warm your heart for a lifetime. Perhaps you are passionate about things yourself, fine. Then it's simply a matter of degree of heat. If your passion has an automatic thermostat, it can be turned down to cool when his reads hot. Then you're perfectly safe. In a word, this man is invincible. Just behind his frosty reserve is a huge pot of boiling steam that bubbles and seethes continually. He'll bewilder you with his twin Scorpio traits of passion and reason. His master of both intellect and emotions rule him equally. Scorpio is more than intelligent. If he's a highly evolved specimen, he's also deeply philosophical, concerned with mysteries of existence, and he'll come close to knowing the answers. These men have an explosive temper that can strike a lifetime wound. When the Scorpio lashes his deadly tail, the sting bites hard. He not only enjoys winning, but he has to win. Something inside him dies when he loses, even in small ways. Yet, oddly enough, a Pluto man normally practices good sportsmanship. Like all his other emotions, disappointment never shows on those set features. If there is a good reason to avoid the relationship, he'll burn inside while he's projecting a glacial calm outwardly. He's also capable of torturing a girl cruelly before he finally decides to grab her by the ear and drag her off to his jungle of honeysuckle vines. Naturally, there are some November fellows who will gently propose on bended knee. They'll behave very properly with or without a chaperone, but don't be deceived. It's merely the Scorpio desire to keep dignity at all cost. Your reputation must be spotless. He won't stand for ridicule or cheapness for all his erotic nature. And of course, it's quite an experience to see the Scorpio man operate under adversity's black clouds. While others are mumbling and crumbling and grumbling, he's at his forceful, courageous best. He seldom wallows in envy or self pity. He won't be budged at all. It may take a whole while, to adjust to his personality, but it will eventually toughen you up. If you're too soft, you'll bruise easily with a Scorpio. Never ask him what he thinks of a new dress or hairdo unless you're prepared to be stung by the brutal truth. At least you'll know his positive statements are honest and not pasted together with the sticky glue of bored, insincere flattery. Definitely, it's always better to listen to the truth. Because other people, other men, they would just go about telling you, "Mhm, you just fine pigeon, oh, you look lovely," all those sugar coated words. But when it comes to jealousy, you would better treat very, very carefully. He could burn and erupt like a Mount Vesuvius in its heyday if you should accidentally wink near a man when a cinder gets in your eye. And if you ever give him a real reason to be suspicious, you are a very brave woman. But you yourself should pack away your own jealous streak in the trunk and then lock it. It will make no impression at all to drench him in angry tears or reproachful recriminations. No matter how he behaves, just say to yourself, he loves me and he will never discard real love for physical promiscuity. He's loyal to his deep ties and he's only practicing his hypnotic art with those girls. Women will find him irresistibly attractive. But keep remembering that if anyone is strong enough to resist such continual flattery and temptation, it's a Scorpio. Doesn't that make you feel better? It should, and it's very true. A Scorpio man will never allow a woman to dictate to him. Never in a million years. He's the man and you are the woman. And if you have any doubts about it, you will be set straight so surely that you'll never need one any more lessons. Yet a Scorpio husband with a wife who truly understands him will be a tender, sympathetic, considerate, and repay her loyalty with the kind of love most women only read about and wish for. And in the area of parenting, he'll probably be a very stern father. The children won't get away with an ounce of lazy or frivolous behavior. Although he loved them with as much sincere passion as he puts into everything else he cares about, he won't stand for any nonsense. If they borrow money from him, he is liable to charge them interest on it, but it's for their own good. They may not realize that until he's gone someday, but the lesson will eventually come home to them. Lots of children of Scorpio fathers resent his high handed authority and tight discipline throughout childhood, and especially during the rebellious years. But as adults, they realize how lucky they were to have his firm guidance. So, in the end, it won't help much to try to resist this man. Once the flame has been stirred and he's decided he wants you, he'll hypnotize you right out of all your good intentions. The magnetism of Scorpio men is almost tangible. You feel you can reach out and touch it. When you do, you may get a surprise. It will burn you only if you're oversensitive and scorchable. If you're patient and strong, it will be like touching cool marble. It takes a brave woman to fly with the eagle and not crash. He can soar higher than his symbolic bright star and then dip down suddenly to earthy expression. Hang on tightly, but keep your eyes open wide, and you'll see horizons with him the timid will never see. Look over there, just beyond the tall fir trees. Did you ever in your whole life experience such a sunrise? Sunset will be just as grand. Thank you so much for listening. Do share and subscribe.